Last time on the Red Herring Podcast.
Oh, the flat Earth. What a way to open up an episode. It's the flat Earth. So you were...
Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so.
So we were talking about...
And for all you people under 70, that's a reference to the 1908 Black Sox.
Really?
Yeah, it's a real thing. Speaking of, before we get into this flat Earth, Joe Rogan's hair, like...
What about Joe Rogan's hair? Tell me about Joe Rogan's hair.
You know, it's funny because...
You know, when you look into it.
When you look into it, and you see that, like, he's like how he was talking about while he was on news radio, and he was afraid, he noticed he was losing his hair, and he was like starting to freak out and worry about that, and he thought about getting extensions. I don't know if he got implants, I don't know if he got hair plugs or not.
I think he did.
But when you look at his hair, it's like, he doesn't even know what he's doing with it when he had it.
No.
It was just kind of like these black strands, like poking out of nowhere, like a cartoon.
But he just had like the regular, like, friggin'. It was usually short, right?
It was short, yes.
So it was just short, normal, like it was a bland haircut.
It was a bland haircut, and he had like the 90210. What do you call it? Sideburns. Yeah.
Like with the wing kind of thing.
With the wing kind of thing, you know.
That's what happened to me. I mean, like when I started. Well, that was the thing. When I started losing my hair, you know, the only reason that I even was annoyed and self-conscious about the bald spot was the fact that, you know, I'm on stage and doing short films and stuff. So like, on film, like. It doesn't look as bad in, like, the bald spot never looked as bad in person as it did on camera.
Oh, yeah, because it's glaring, right?
So when I'm walking a certain way and I have just, like, this super huge head of curly hair and then I turn around and there's just this circle of scalp, I'm like, this is going to be a problem.
Which seems, the light seems to find perfectly.
So after a certain point, I just said, I was just like not shaving it yet, but I was cutting it really short, and I was like, well, this is fine because it's short, so even if there's scalp or whatever. And then after I moved here, I was just like, it was really hot one day, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. So I just grabbed the razor and just shaved it off, and I was like, I like this. I like this a lot, actually.
You know what, if I ever go bald, I think I'll shave it. I think I'll go complete
Dude,
shave.
you're never going bald.
I'm never going to, but I'm just...
I mean, you don't have to, like, do this pseudo-solidarity thing.
I'm
fine.
I'm just trying to tell you I'm an ally.
I'm okay with being
bald guys. I'm an ally.
Bald ally.
I'm a bald ally.
You're a bald-faced liar.
Flat Earth?
So flat Earth.
Welcome back to Clip City.
Welcome back. Oh, it's been a minute since we've been in Clip City. Okay,
right.
so flat Earth, right? You were talking to me earlier today about don't cough while we're recording. Thank you. Thank you.
Got allergies today.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
So
neither do the listeners. I know.
Neither does your wife.
No.
So you were talking to me earlier today about flat Earth, right? And you were. Everybody, all these people that think the Earth is flat and not round, right? They're usually, I think the majority of them are come to a consensus, and they say the reason that the government is trying to convince us that the Earth is not flat, is so that they can use NASA as a fake organization to steal our taxpayer money, right? But the question that we were talking about earlier was, why would they need to lie and tell us that the Earth is globular to steal our money through an organization?
Globular is a great word, by the way.
I mean, I think it's the most scientifically accurate term.
Probably is.
Because it's not spherical.
No.
Spherical implies a perfect circle,
Do
which
they say
unlike
it's
the band...
They don't say elliptical?
No, they say globular.
Globular? Okay.
Because a globe is not necessarily a perfect
right. That's why they call it a globe.
Yeah, a sphere is a perfect...
Sphere's perfect.
A sphere is a perfect shape. A globe is not.
It's not a ball. And they don't call it... I guess an elliptical wasn't the other word I was thinking of, but... Oh, wait. Well, regardless, it doesn't matter. So, here's the thing. It's like... The question always comes from a person that believes the Earth is round, is that why would they need to lie to us about it? Like, why would it matter what the reality is, what the truth is? Why would they need to lie to us? They lie to us in all kinds of other ways to get our taxpayer money. Why would they need to come up with something so outrageous, basically?
But here's my thing. In a lot of cases, they don't even lie to us to get our taxpayer money. They just outright tell us we're taking this from you.
Yes.
Like with the whole idea of tolls on the bridge. We've talked about that before in the show, right?
Yes.
Like the fact that you go over a bridge and there's a toll. And when that bridge was first built, the toll was so that it would pay for the bridge. And then after the bridge is paid for, they just say, fuck it, we're not taking the toll away.
Yeah.
That's common knowledge.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this, and yet there are still tolls. Why would they lie to us on this grand of a scale? Also, all of the world's governments would have to be complicit in this. And lest we forget, some of the governments in the world don't like some of the other governments in the world. So why would they agree and not just undercut some, like, let's say for example, during the Cold War, Russia was not very happy with us, and they said, you know what, we're just gonna be real with our citizens, and we're gonna tell them the Earth is flat. That would instantly undercut all of the USA, and all of the allies with the USA would go, oh crap, they're telling the truth, we have to go with them.
Or better yet, wouldn't the Axis government versus the Allies.
Yes.
Wouldn't Hitler be like, don't you know your government's lying to you about the shape of the Earth?
Exactly. But I think a better thing is too, if the Earth was flat.
Because you know Hitler was investigating all of this too.
Well, no, they went to Antarctica.
They went everywhere,
Yeah,
looking for all kinds of artifacts and all kinds of.
They were into all sorts of shit. They were into like the alien shit. They were into supernatural. They were into the eugenics, like
religion.
They went into it. They were even into one of those myths of like these like what was it, the people that were essentially kind of like Vikings, but like supernatural Vikings, where they were like. I forget the name for them, but they had like pointed ears. They were kind of like a mixture of elves and Vikings.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
I know
blonde-haired people. Not Aryans, but they were like extraterrestrial Aryans. Not aliens, Aryans.
Aryans.
Elvis the Aryan.
Blondes. Blonde blue eyes.
That's a great. I'm gonna mock up a design for
there
Elvis.
There we go.
For Jimmy, actually, I found out his name is.
You would totally think that an enemy at some point would be like, "Fuck you guys."
Well, here's my thing. This is what I was gonna jump off and talk about. So let's just go from the supposition that the Earth is flat.
Okay.
I hope I used that word correctly. Here's the definition. I just gave myself work. God damn. The thing is, when I listen back to these and I edit, every time I say, here's this, editing me hates podcast me. Because I do this to myself all the fucking time.
It's okay, because you're editing you sometimes says, fuck you, I'm not doing it
It's
anyways.
true. Editing me does say fuck that. There was a whole hour where I didn't do shit. This is a picture of editing me. Oh, podcast me is in such a greater mood when these projects are going on.
It's good. It's good. All right. Okay, so
the supposition that the Earth is flat.
Flat.
If there is indeed a 100, 200 foot ice wall around the dish that is the flat Earth, right?
Right.
The government could still take our taxpayer money towards an organization and not do anything with it. Because think about this. NASA is the National Aeronautical Space Agency, right?
Yeah.
What if there was the NAAE, the National Aeronautical Arctic Exploration Agency? A.
Right.
NAAEA, right?
Yep.
The NAAE. Which is what people would be saying when their taxpayer money's going to it. Thank God for that elephant sound effect. So if the Earth is flat, right, and there's an ice wall around this, they would still be able to take our taxpayer money more than they need to explore using rocket-type ships to try and go beyond this ice wall, right? So,
or they could just tell us they're studying the ice.
But what would be different? Exactly. What would be fucking different? If they told us that the Earth was flat and there is indeed this ice wall, or it's an infinite plane, they're still gonna fucking take our taxpayer money to quote unquote explore this shit. There's no reason for them to. Ugh.
They would take spaceships, right?
Yes.
To say, listen, we're gonna build a spaceship, and we're gonna go out of the atmosphere and go underneath the flat Earth to see what's underneath the flat Earth.
Yes, right. Also, gravity. First off, if the Earth is flat, you know how everybody said all these flat earthers are like, gravity's not real, weight is. Alright, whatever. How does anybody stick on the underside of a ball? The rules of gravity that apply. No. Here's the thing. The rules of gravity that apply with a globe would still apply, even more so with a dish, because the gravity would be like on the underside, and the top side there would still be a core of this dish where the gravity is pulling into. So you would literally see people in China walking upside down. And then once you get to get closer to the edge, it would probably it would be lesser, but there would still be gravity pulling you this way. So it would be harder to walk forward because you'd be falling back. And then once you get to the perfect edge, then you jump up and you would be
well, but the thing is the Earth, right? Everything is on top of the surface.
Yeah.
So China's on top of the surface. It's not underneath us.
But that's what my question is. What are all these fucking stars?
Well, here's the other thing: is that what you're saying? With is okay. Well, here's the other thing, right? Is the dish itself spinning?
Who knows?
Nobody talks about that, right?
Fucking knows.
Is it spinning? Because that's how gravity works, guys. The Earth sits in the space and it goes around the sun.
Well, the whole idea of centrifugal force too. I mean,
the centrifugal force.
Because you take you put a tennis ball in a bucket and you tie the bucket to a string. You swing that shit around. The tennis ball does not fall out of the bucket. If gravity does not exist and centrifugal force is not a thing, then the tennis ball should just fall right out of that bucket while you're spinning it.
Gyroscopes.
How do they work?
How do they work?
The heads of chickens.
When you take a chicken head and you take the body and you flip it around and then snap the neck.
Whoa. That's not the video that's showing right now.
Oh.
Here's some saloon music and a guy moving a chicken around.
Here's my question. Let's say the Earth...
14, final answer.
If the Earth... the answer was yellow.
Ah, damn it, I thought it was 44. I got it wrong.
Yeah, you did. If the Earth is flat, okay? So maybe they want to lie to us about the Earth... Okay, so here's the reason why that they would be lying to us.
Okay.
There is something beyond the ice wall that is so horrific that they can't tell us, and nobody, for the sake of their own people, would ever tell another nation that your government's lying to you, because they would too be lying to their own people. So they don't want everybody to know about the particular danger that is beyond the ice wall, which... Get ready. Which I'm surprised the theorists haven't done this yet.
I'm sitting. All right.
Maybe because they haven't watched this show yet, because they don't have HBO. But Game of Thrones, there's an ice wall in Game of Thrones, and what's beyond that wall? White Walkers. Not white people, White Walkers.
You know what I would love? I would love...
What if there was White Walkers?
What if George R.R. Martin is secretly a flat earther? And the whole idea of the ice wall and the White Walkers is his way of trying to warn everybody that the government's lying to us?
He's the next Kubrick.
George R.R. Kubrick.
First we had Kubrick, then we had Ridley Scott.
Now we have Martin.
Now we have Martin.
Oh, that neck-bearded fuck.
Yeah, near that role-playing piece of shit.
Oh, that.
God, I hope he lives another 20 years.
I really do too. So in closing, George R.R. Martin.
Martin.
George Martin Lopez. Martin.
Martin Lopez?
No.
Martin Lawrence?
Martin.
Martin Sheen?
What's Ricky Martin. George Ricky Martin.
Oh, Ricky Martin.
George Ricky Martin.
Giorgio
Armani.
Giorgio Armani. Giorgio Martino.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.